Welcome to the Batflipbombs podcast. We are back again for another episode. Ready to get after it. I mean, we're fully in the swing of things. Been excited with everything going on. Everything college baseball seems like it's on a good path.
Yeah. This past week was I think it was pretty good actually. It's a lot of good matchups. It just seemed like a typical college baseball weekend, and it was nice to see, especially Vanderbilt, South Carolina.
That series was great.
Yeah, really good series. Florida, Georgia had a pretty crazy moment in the Friday game, so that was good. The Kentucky LSU series was actually really good too.
Yeah.
So it was just a solid baseball weekend.
Mississippi State beating Ole Miss and them setting the attendance record for an on-campus game was kind of crazy. I mean, it was like 43,000 over the weekend. That's wild.
Yeah, I'm surprised that many people showed up.
I know, I am too.
They've actually won. They're 4-2 in their past 2 weeks.
I know.
So
they got some top 25 votes this week, which I was kind of surprised by. I don't think they're at that level yet, but who cares?
Yeah.
But one of the teams that does not deserve any top 25 votes, in my opinion, for how they're playing right now is Tennessee.
Yeah, they haven't been playing well. I think that's the best way to put it. They're not playing well. Something's going on over there. I mean, probably not internally. Not like what Mississippi State was going through, but something's definitely going on. Especially when for the weekend you put out your starters list, and then you have a guy who hasn't started a weekend game throwing Friday. It's just like, let's just throw a dart at a wall and see if it sticks. It's kind of just like, I don't know what they were thinking there. I don't know.
Yeah, I really don't know if I would. I mean, I get why they changed the rotation around, because both the chases weren't doing great, but still, I think with that amount of talent, between those three guys, you just ride with it.
Yeah, I think, you kind of let them figure it out. Don't really second guess themselves. I think it's kind of the worst thing you can do to a pitching staff as a whole, or not even just a staff, an individual.
Yeah.
Right? You say you have trust in that person, so on and so forth. I know they've both been doing, not great, but just the fact that, both of them struggling a little bit, and then you just say, okay, well, both of you guys, we're not going to put you in the starting rotation, at first.
Yeah.
For the weekend, so I think that's gonna be tough for both of them, and I don't know. They got to figure something out. Honestly, I don't even think pitching is their downfall. I think their hitting's more so their downfall. That's more so of a worry to me. They don't really have anyone that's gonna impress you right now, on a consistent basis.
No. I'd say Burke is probably the only one.
Yeah, I mean, and even in the SEC, if you have one,
that's not gonna get it done.
Exactly, and the way that everyone else is playing, not great, but I do think they can definitely turn it around. At least you hope so.
Yeah.
I don't know who they have this weekend. But
we got Vandy this weekend.
Oh, that's going to be tough. I mean, especially with Vanderbilt's pitching.
I know, but it's at UT, so we'll see. I mean, I think it's going to still probably be a good series just because of the rivalry.
Yeah.
You would think UT would get amped up for this one. You were the big brother for a year. I think it's time to step up, especially when you have the talent that they do.
Yeah. I mean, I do think it's going to be tough for them to overcome the hitting aspect, with Vanderbilt's pitching
hitting
style.
and defense. Defense play for Tennessee has just been awful. Yeah. I mean, their outfield and infield has just lost them. Probably. This weekend probably lost them 3 or 4 runs.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of crazy to think their team last year, and obviously almost their entire starting lineup's gone.
Yeah.
But just to see the fact that things can change so much in a year from an offensive standpoint, it's crazy. So they're gonna have to figure something out, because right now it's not. If they keep going on this path, I mean, that's gonna be a scary, maybe borderline.
I know. If they keep losing at this rate, they're not gonna make the tournament.
Yeah, which would be one of the craziest turnarounds.
Wild.
Yeah, especially with some of the transfers that they had.
I know.
They got, and then with both chases back, you kind of expect yourself to, I don't know, be good.
I know.
I don't know. I didn't see this one coming.
Yeah, we'll see. One of the things that reminded me of last year's Tennessee team is Jack Caglione's celebration for the home run after his pitcher got thrown out.
Yeah.
Just kind of penguin walking it, and that was hilarious. That was top 10 celebration of the year for sure.
Oh yeah. I remember when I sent that to you, and I saw it first. I was like, no way did this guy just do that. And didn't he hit 2 home runs that game too?
Oh yeah, I mean it was just just a little grand slam or a second home run of the game.
Yeah, and then just to waddle into your dugout.
I know.
I mean, honestly, I thought it would have been funny if he would have gotten thrown out for doing that, because it just would have been funny to see his reaction, because I bet he would have been like, "Are you kidding me?"
Oh, I know, dude. That was exactly what we needed for that time.
Yeah.
But with Florida, I've got Florida ranked number 2 in our rankings, but I know a lot of people have Wake Forest ranked number 2. And I know your thoughts are probably a little bit different than mine. If Florida and Wake were to play a series for the number 2 spot in the nation, because we know LSU's number 1 right now, who do you think is taking that?
I'm going to go Wake, simply because I think they're a more consistent team than Florida is right now. Like Rhett Loader's doing really well. They have Sean Sullivan. Those are kind of like a good 1-2 like punch. Minacci is their closer. Those 3 guys kind of give them, in my opinion, like just a consistency that Florida doesn't necessarily. I know Florida's talent-wise is probably better than Wake Forest, but the consistency's there in my mind. The lineup's been doing really well. Wilkins been playing pretty well. I think partially it depends where we're playing, because if you're playing at Wake Forest Park, I mean, that park is a launch pad. It's like 290 down the line. So I'm still going to go Wake. I think just consistency speaking, I think they're more consistent than Florida, especially with Sproat having like a 5 ERA, even though he has some of the most electric stuff I've ever seen from like a college baseball player. But like, again, I think that's just part of it, like consistency.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go Florida, just because I think, especially the past few weeks, they've looked really, really good. I mean, I know they lost the one game this weekend, but still, I think...
That's a wild comeback.
Yeah, I think that rotation and offense, just as a whole, I mean, Sproat, Waldrop, Waldrop's the pitcher. Yeah. I had to think about that. Sproat, Waldrop, and Caglione as your rotation is really, really good, and then him also in the lineup with their other dudes has been really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think they have more talent, but I think Wake Forest could sneak it out. I mean, obviously you're putting two teams that have great pitching staffs.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be an awesome series. So I'm gonna go Florida. You're gonna go Wake. Yeah. All right, that sounds good. And the next thing I've got my projected 16 regional hosts, and so I'm gonna say these out loud. And you're going to tell me yes or no. Most of the first ones are probably going to be yeses. I think once we get down to probably about that 8 or 9 mark, you're going to have a little bit of a different opinion.
Okay, this is regional hosts?
Yes, regional hosts.
Okay.
So for the first one, we got LSU.
Yeah.
Wake.
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah.
Vandy.
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Virginia. ECU.
Yes. They probably will. So I'll probably agree with you.
Kentucky.
Oh, God, I hope not.
Why?
I don't know. They actually surprised me this weekend. I think they played pretty well.
Yeah, I think Kentucky's actually really good.
It's the SEC, so I think they could definitely lose it in a couple weeks. But as of like right now, if it were to start right now, they're gonna
100%. Yeah. Stanford.
Yes. Yeah. They're 11-4 in conference.
I have them on here, but in my opinion, I don't really think they should. Just a thought.
Stanford?
Yeah.
They're 11-4 in conference.
Every weekend it seems like they don't win all the games.
I think that's because we have such high expectations for them. Like that team should be top 5 in the country.
Yeah, they
should easily. But they're not top 5 right now. They're not playing like it.
Yeah.
I think they still get it because they're 11-4 in conference. They're sitting at second behind Arizona State, who's like 12-3.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough to say.
When you gotta have a West Coast team.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to have a West Coast team.
And they're better than UCLA right now.
Yeah. I've got UCLA on here as well. How do we feel about that?
Maybe.
That's kind of how I was.
It's like because Oregon's doing.
It's tough.
Dude, Oregon could even get like a regional host because Oregon's playing fine. I do think the committee's gonna say, okay, it's UCLA. Like they're gonna. Yeah. I mean, they did take a game against Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
So.
Which now is probably a huge RPI win for them.
Yeah.
All right. So these last 4 I've kind of got. I'm gonna say you're gonna agree with 3 of them. So we got UTSA.
If they keep winning.
Okay.
If
they keep winning. And then Texas.
Yeah, I think they deserve it. I really do.
UConn.
No.
And then Campbell.
No.
You don't think so?
No, they've lost 2 games in conference. They've lost 2 games in conference with like 5 weekends to go. If they lose any more than 4, they're not hosting. Dude,
it's
it's the SoCon. Not the SoCon. It's not even the
It's the
SoCon.
Big South.
It's the Big South.
Yeah.
Dude, it's even worse than the SoCon.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's not a good conference, but
I mean,
at the
and
same
they
time,
have-
their non-conference they've done really well. Non-conference.
They have done very, very well.
Wins
But
over ECU, Coastal.
yeah, I don't think they get it because I think if they drop, and this is not from like D1's ranking or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
This is just firmly from what I think the NCAA would want, and I personally think if they drop any conference weekend, if they go 1-2 against anyone in that conference, they're not going to get it. They still have USC Upstate to play, which I'm not saying I'd be worried about that, but they still do. And USC Upstate is like those two teams are head and shoulders better than everyone else in that conference. Yeah. Just to like lose a game against Presbyterian and Longwood in conference is just like they lost games. It's not like they got killed or anything. Yeah, like they just dropped a game. I think the committee is gonna be like, oh, I don't know. I love Campbell, like I really do, but I feel like they're not gonna get it. I'm trying to think like teams that you didn't mention in that like are these or did you write 16 down?
Yeah, that was all 16.
Okay, you got like Miami, you got North Carolina, you got Louisville, like those
Louisville was the biggest one that I think I missed on probably.
Like those three teams there can easily get like regionals.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know, North Carolina, which I said was a fraud at the beginning of the year, the ACC is more so top heavy, in my opinion. Even though it's like a really weird conference this year. I think those three teams could all get it. Like I said, Oregon could get one, or like UCLA. Well, I guess if you have two of them, Oregon or UCLA can get one. If Arizona State keeps randomly playing well, they could get one. Oklahoma State, if they kind of turn things around, like Oklahoma State.
I had
TCU.
Oklahoma State on there, but then I took them off.
Yeah, like it's gonna be tough. I think like you can't really go down right now to like past 10 and say confidently that these teams are all gonna be there down the road. I don't see UConn getting it in any situation.
Really?
I don't. They played...
They have lost a bunch of big games that I thought they should have won, and weekends I thought they should have won.
Yeah, I mean, they went 2-1 against Xavier this weekend, which Xavier's definitely at this time the second best team in that conference.
Yeah.
And they played at Xavier, and Xavier's field is a Little League park. I'm not kidding.
Really?
It's tiny. So I don't think UConn will. I'm trying to think, like, there's definitely some teams that are in the top 25 right now that I don't know how they're in the top 25, but
yeah,
it'll be very interesting. Like, those, like, last couple teams that you said, though, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a toss-up for a bunch of those there at the bottom. I think Campbell will maybe get it.
Maybe.
They have to win their conference and conference tournament, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But one of the other ones I like on here with UTSA, I've heard that they might play it in their football dome if they win. Like if they get to host.
That'd be sweet.
Which would be so sick.
That'd be sweet.
Because there's never a college baseball game in a dome, which...
Yeah, oh yeah. No,
other than like the ones they play in the Vikings.
That'd be really cool. Do they not want to play it at the, oh no, that's at Amarillo. Don't they have a San Antonio minor league team? Or they used to, maybe. I don't know if they have one
I'm
anymore.
sure they do. San Antonio.
I don't know if they do anymore.
I don't know.
But, yeah, UTSA. For example, I mean, I hate saying it because I know you're not going to like it, but Maryland or Indiana could sneak.
I could see that. Indiana's been playing really well.
Indiana's been playing really well.
Been playing well, too. So I can see that.
There's a lot of close
And I'm sure they've won at least one Big Ten team in here.
Yeah. I mean, but you
don't have to.
It's dominating with SEC this year. It's ridiculous.
But, yeah, I would say SEC mostly. All right, now we get on to the picks for this weekend. First game we got Boston College
UNC.
Yep. All right, I guess that answers it for us.
Yeah.
But I'm with you there. I think...
BC's been dropping a couple games recently.
Yeah, they've been dropping a couple games. If it was at Boston College, I might go Boston College.
It's supposed to be a cold weekend there, because that's what's...
But it's at UNC, so I'm going to go UNC. The next one we got is Southern Miss versus Coastal.
I hate when it's Southern Miss in any of these. I'm going to go Coastal.
I'm going to go Coastal. It's at Coastal. I'm going to go Coastal as well. Then we got Oregon State at Arizona State.
Oh, God, that's a tough one. Oh.
I'm going to go with Oregon State.
I'm going to go with Oregon State as well.
We're going to quit picking the same teams.
Dude, like, I don't know what to say.
Last week we picked the same ones as well. All right, then we got Florida, South Carolina. This might actually be sneaky. South Carolina might be my number 2 in reality.
Oh, jeez, they just blew it against Vanderbilt this weekend.
They did blow it, yeah.
God, I'm going to go Florida. And it's at South Carolina.
At South Carolina. At Founders, I'm going South Carolina. Right. 100%.
It's probably fair enough.
And then for the last one, in Knoxville, we got Vanderbilt Tennessee.
Vandy.
Yeah, I'm going to go Vandy as well. I think they're just so much more consistent.
I know
than
your heart wants to go Vandy.
Yeah, I'm going to go, yeah. That was no problem picking Vandy for me. I mean, there's always the possibility that UT could come out and play the way they're supposed to play because they are that talented where they could easily win the series. But at the same time, from what we've seen, especially the past few weeks, they just cannot get it done in the big series now. So I think they're still learning.
Well, hey, how about the fact that, we haven't even discussed that LSU is a clear number one.
Yeah.
And they're like 5th or 6th right now.
Yeah, it's the wildest thing. It is. I've never seen anything like it.
It's like they do enough every weekend to not drop them. And honestly, they've been playing all of the top teams in like the SEC, except for Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Like they played every other like top team, and they just beat them.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, I guess they haven't played Florida either, but they win the series, so you can't get mad at them. But at the end of the day, it's like...
And the ones they win are pretty convincingly.
Yeah, and they tend to, like, lose, like, a stupid game. Like, this last one against Kentucky was just, like what?
Yeah.
And, I don't know, it was weird. And then, you drop one to Arkansas, and you're like, oh, really? They dropped one to Arkansas? But Arkansas is nasty, too.
Is so
that
good.
Lefty that they came out in the bullpen on, Friday night against Tennessee, like, dude, that dude was electric.
Same dude that was throwing against them when they lost the game to Arkansas, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think these are going to be some really good weekends.
Yeah.
Weekend series.
Yeah,
I really like this week's picks. So I think we got BC North Carolina. It's just kind of like a random matchup, but it's also, I mean, it's in conference, so it's a cool matchup. Southern Miss Coastal. Those are like I'm not even going to call them mid-majors. I'm going to call them Group of 5. That's like Group of 5 powerhouse programs going against each other.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's going to be a good one.
Yeah. And then, obviously, Oregon State, ASU.
That's just, like, a tough one that you're just, like, Oregon State definitely has more talent, but Arizona State's been playing better.
Yeah, they've been playing really well.
And Florida, South Carolina, that's just going to be a great matchup.
Yeah, we're just excited for that. And then Vandy, Tennessee, in-state rivalry.
Being in Tennessee,
two of the best programs in the country, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's all we got for this week. Thank you, guys. Might have an episode coming from Canada next week.